Certainly. Below is a 3,000-word motivational speech centered on the theme, Outgrow the Manipulative Cycle by Becoming Emotionally Unbothered, written in narration style only, without any headings and without using titles or bullet points. There is a certain power that comes when you stop allowing your emotions to be someone else's playground. The moment you begin to recognize patterns, not people, you start the journey of becoming emotionally unbothered, not cold, not numb, but centered, rooted, grounded in who you are, regardless of what anyone tries to provoke or pull out of you. Emotional control is not the absence of feeling. It's the refusal to be ruled by anyone else's agenda. When you become emotionally unbothered, you're no longer a puppet in their performance. You stop entertaining arguments that go in circles. You stop defending yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. You stop responding to every whisper, every shade, every dig meant to disrupt your peace. They don't understand how you're still calm. They don't understand why you're not lashing out. And they don't have to, because your growth isn't for show, it's for survival. Manipulation needs a reaction. It feeds off your confusion, your frustration, your insecurities. But when you no longer react, when you sit still and respond with silence, something in the atmosphere shifts. The power dynamic changes. They're no longer in control. You are. Because the one who controls their emotions controls the outcome. It's not that you didn't notice the games. You saw it all. The subtle digs, the strategic silence, the backhanded compliments, the guilt trips, the sudden affection right after causing you pain. You recognized every move, but you didn't react. Not because you were naive, but because you were wise. You've learned that peace is more valuable than proving a point. You've learned that not every offense deserves your attention. You've learned that silence is often the loudest message you can send. There was a time when your emotions betrayed you, when you'd lose sleep over someone else's dysfunction, when you'd try to fix things you didn't break, heal people who never asked for help, and chase closure from doors that were never meant to reopen. But that version of you is gone. That version of you learned the hard way. And what you gained through those lessons can't be unlearned. Now you know better. Now you move different. Now you choose peace, even when chaos is offered to you on a silver platter. When someone sees they can no longer get a reaction out of you, they panic, because for some your attention was their lifeline. Your emotions validated them. Your outbursts reassured them that they still had access. But the quiet withdrawal of your energy, that's what confuses them. That's what they don't expect. They knew how to handle your anger. They knew how to manipulate your tears. But they don't know how to handle your stillness. They don't know how to confront a healed version of you that they can no longer penetrate. You become emotionally unbothered not by building walls, but by building wisdom. You start asking yourself better questions. You start listening to people's actions, not just their words. You start honoring your own boundaries, not just setting them. You stop explaining to people who have already made up their minds. You stop seeking peace in people who are at war with themselves. There's no need to clap back, no need to match energy, no need to respond to disrespect with retaliation. Let them think they've won. Let them think they've silenced you. What they don't know is that your silence is sacred. It's not weakness, it's a weapon. You're not avoiding confrontation, you're choosing elevation. You're not ignoring the truth, you're focusing on the bigger picture. You're not giving up, you're moving up. When you're emotionally unbothered, you don't chase clarity from confusion. You don't water dead plants. You don't rehearse conversations with people who wouldn't understand the melody of your heart, even if you screamed it. You don't seek justice in places where dishonor lives. You rise above it, not for them, but for you. Because the truth is, they don't deserve your reaction. They don't deserve access to your peace. They don't deserve the intimacy of your struggle or the insight of your mind. They don't deserve the version of you that used to beg to be heard, to be loved, to be treated right. That version of you was powerful, but this one is untouchable. Emotional maturity isn't about never feeling anger or sadness. It's about mastering your response. It's about sitting with your emotions, learning from them, then releasing them before they turn into regret. It's about choosing to pause, breathe, and realign with who you really are, instead of letting someone else's chaos redefine you. You will outgrow people who thrived off your emotional instability. You will outgrow conversations that once held you captive. You will outgrow environments that required you to shrink in order to keep the peace. And when you do, don't feel guilty. Don't look back. Don't second guess the silence. That's growth. That's healing. That's freedom. You're no longer triggered by the same games. You no longer react to the same patterns. That doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care about yourself more. It means you've healed enough to protect your peace. It means you love yourself enough to walk away from what no longer feeds your soul. That's not being unkind. That's being aligned. When you become emotionally unbothered, your world changes. You start waking up with clarity, you start sleeping peacefully, you start attracting healthier connections because you're no longer performing, you're no longer trying to be enough for people who never had the capacity to hold you in the first place. You've stepped into your power, and that power isn't loud, it's quiet, it's steady, it's consistent. Manipulators can't function where boundaries are firm. They can't thrive where peace is prioritized. They can't play their games when you no longer show up to the arena. Let them keep talking. Let them keep projecting. Let them keep underestimating you. You know who you are. You know what you carry, and nothing they say can shift that foundation anymore. The real glow-up is peace. The real flex is emotional stability. The real victory is when you no longer need revenge because you've already won the war inside yourself. And when you're no longer at war with yourself, nothing outside of you can shake you. This kind of peace can't be faked. It can't be borrowed. It can't be taught. It has to be lived. It has to be walked through. You have to sit in the ashes of who you used to be and choose to rebuild. You have to face the truth of your patterns, confront the reasons you stayed, and then forgive yourself for every version of you that didn't know better. Now you know. Now you move differently. Now you're emotionally anchored, and that's rare. That's powerful. That's untouchable. So let them say you've changed. You have. Let them say you've gone cold. You haven't. You've just warmed up to your worth. Let them say you're distant. You are from dysfunction. Let them say you're too quiet. You are because peace doesn't make noise. You're not triggered anymore because you've grown. You're not confused anymore because you've prayed. You're not broken anymore because you've rebuilt. The version of you that cried for closure, begged for validation, chased after answers, that version no longer leads the way. You've taken the wheel now. You're driving this journey, and the road ahead is free from emotional traffic. Stay unbothered. Stay centered. Stay focused. Because the one who can control their emotions is the one who can control their future. Let them play small. Let them stay stuck. You have work to do. You have peace to protect. You have a destiny to fulfill. And you will fulfill it not through noise, but through quiet power, not through chaos, but through clarity, not through reaction, but through revelation, because you've learned that the only person you need to prove anything to is the person you were yesterday. And today you're stronger, you're wiser, you're unbothered. And that changes everything. There comes a point in your life when distraction is no longer a game, when delay is no longer tolerable, when the fragments of your focus begin to feel like chains instead of freedom. And in that moment, something inside you begins to shift. You no longer seek to control the world around you. You start to master the world within you. That is the beginning of self-mastery. It is not about perfection. It is about intentional evolution. It is the art of becoming so disciplined in your spirit, so aligned in your purpose, that nothing outside of you can destroy the clarity inside of you. The greatest battle you will ever fight is not with others, it is with yourself. Every weakness, every excuse, every distraction, every impulse that begs you to settle for less than you were created for. It's all internal, and until you confront it, you will always live beneath your potential. Mastery requires sacrifice. It demands that you let go of who you were to fully step into who you are becoming. It means choosing discipline over desire, focus over comfort, growth over ego. There are a million voices trying to tell you what matters. But until you silence the noise and listen to the still, steady rhythm of your own soul, you will always chase validation from the outside. Mastery is not about doing more. It's about doing what matters most, deeply, consistently, intentionally. It's about saying no to everything that doesn't align with where you are going. It's about shutting doors that once felt like opportunities, but now you know they were distractions in disguise. Every day you wake up, you have a choice. Will you lead your mind or let your mind lead you? Will you train your thoughts or be ruled by them? Will you feed your higher self or continue nurturing your lower impulses? Self-mastery begins the moment you realize you are not your feelings. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are the observer, the chooser, the architect of what comes next. To master yourself, you must first become aware of your habits, aware of your triggers, aware of your patterns, aware of the subtle ways you sabotage your own progress. Most people never take the time to notice. They keep moving, doing, rushing, numbing, but not you, not anymore. You've reached a point where you are no longer willing to be a prisoner of your own potential. You want more, you're ready for more, and more will require mastery. Focus is the beginning of mastery. Not scattered ambition, not half-hearted effort, but deep, unwavering, undistracted attention. Where your focus goes, your life flows. So if your focus is fractured, your life will feel fragmented. But the moment you start to narrow your energy into what truly matters, the power within you begins to multiply. Clarity sharpens, vision strengthens, purpose ignites. You stop chasing everything and start building something. Cultivating your focus means training your mind to serve your future, not your past. It means setting boundaries around your time, your energy, your attention. It means saying no, not because you're arrogant, but because you're committed. Committed to your growth, committed to your craft, committed to your calling, committed to becoming the highest, purest version of yourself. The road to mastery is not glamorous, it's not flashy, it's gritty, it's lonely, it's repetitive, but every time you choose to do the hard thing, the disciplined thing, the necessary thing, you are laying a brick. Brick by brick, you are building a life of purpose, a life that doesn't collapse under pressure, a life that stands tall even when the storm comes. You must learn to lead yourself. Lead yourself when you're tired. Lead yourself when you're uninspired. Lead yourself when no one is watching. Because if you can lead yourself, you can lead anything. But if you can't even govern your own habits, your own time, your own emotions, how can you expect to elevate to the next level? It starts with you. Always. There will be moments when your old self will scream for attention, when comfort will call your name, when the path of least resistance will seem tempting. But that's when you remember why you started. That's when you remember who you're doing this for. That's when you silence the noise and refocus your gaze on the vision that lives inside of you. Your goals don't care about your excuses. Your destiny doesn't wait for your feelings to catch up. Time moves, whether you do or not. The question is, will you master this season, or will this season master you? You were not created to be average. There is something in you that longs for more, that longs to break free from the cycles, that longs to rise above mediocrity. But that kind of rise requires more than just desire. It requires discipline. It requires commitment. It requires a decision to no longer be driven by impulse, but by intention. Intention is what separates movement from momentum. You can be busy and still be stuck. You can be working hard and still be going in circles. But when you elevate your focus, when you align your actions with your values, when you discipline your mind to stay centered, you create momentum that nothing can stop. Don't wait for motivation. Motivation fades. Build systems, build routines, build rituals that serve your highest self. Discipline will take you where motivation can't. Consistency will open doors that talent alone never could. You don't have to be the most gifted, you just have to be the most consistent. Self-mastery isn't about proving anything to others. It's about proving to yourself that you can be trusted with your own potential. It's about earning your own respect. Looking in the mirror and knowing, I showed up, I didn't give in, I gave my all. That kind of integrity creates a peace no one can take from you. Know